While you're busy getting ready for Shabbat, hopefully more or less packed away already all the Pesach dishes, etc., etc. I want to share with you a beautiful, let's call it the post-Pesach story. But before this story, obviously the big story is thank you, Hashem. Today, we go back to having said Mizmor L'Soida. It's not Pesach anymore. We brought the carbon toilet in the Beis Hamikdash. So Psalm 100. Join me, please. מזמור לסוידו, רילה אדוני כל הארץ, עבדוס אדוני בשמחו בו, לפניו בנונו. לוקה אדוני אלוהים הוא עשנו ולא נחנם מבצע מריס אבו ישר בסוידו חצרויס ובסילו. הוידו לא ברוך שמוי כי טוב ואדוני לעולם חסדוי ויד דור ודור אמונו סוי. Let us give some charity. Actually with the right hand. And here is the story. My nephew, Rabbi Mendes Silverstein in Montreal, very active in the shlichus, always out there with a mitzvah tank. And I think this happened last year as he was standing in front of McGill University and distributing boxes of shmura matzah to the students. A young woman, student, comes over to him and says, "Do you remember me from last year? You gave me one of those matzah boxes." Now, he was a little bit in a quandary. He wasn't going to lie. No, he didn't remember. There were so many students that came by whom he gave matzahs. But then, obviously, to her, it meant an awful lot. Just to tell her a flat no, she might be disappointed. So he said, "Look, maybe, I'm not sure," because you realize so many people that I saw. "But why are you asking me?" He says, "Because I want to tell you something that happened to me. The year before, you stood here, you gave out those matzah. At that time, I thought it was just a cracker, a Passover cracker. And you insisted in me taking this box, although originally I was not interested. Judaism meant absolutely nothing to me. But you insisted, and you were so polite and friendly, I couldn't say no. But then you told me to promise that I will eat it at a certain night. And you added, ideally, drink 4 cups of kosher wine with it." I took it, and I promised you, simply because you were so friendly, so polite. That night that I was supposed to eat those crackers, I went out with my Muslim boyfriend to a party, completely oblivious that it's Pesach, completely forgotten about it. And suddenly, as we're driving to that party, I realized that I forgot to take a piece of those crackers as I promised you. So I asked my boyfriend, "Please, let's go back to the apartment and I want to pick something up." "What do you need to pick up that's so important? We're already more than halfway there." So she says, "Look, I promised the rabbi I'm going to eat a piece of that cracker, and I'm a person that keeps my word, so I want to go back." "Rabbi, what have you got to do with rabbis?" So I told him, "Look, this rabbi was standing there giving out those Passover crackers. He blew a fit. We made up that in our relationship, this is going to be absolutely no religion. I'm originally Muslim, you're Jewish, and we made up there's going to be no vestige of any religion at all. I don't want you to go back and take those crackers." And he was furious. But I'm a person of word. And we got into an argument that says, "You know what? Let me just get out of the car. I'm going to manage myself." I went out. I took an Uber. I went back to the apartment. I found those crackers. But then I reminded myself, he also wanted me to drink some 4 cups of wine. I couldn't find any kosher wine, but I found beer. Not even knowing that beer is forbidden to drink on Pesach. "So, Rabbi, I want you to know that last year I ate those crackers and I drank the 4 cups of beer, but you have to listen to the rest. After I finished, I grabbed quickly an Uber to the party. It was already late. We got into a major fight, and from that moment on, we kept on fighting. To the point that I started thinking, if over a little piece of cracker something so meaningless. He's so enraged. What kind of life am I going to have with this guy? The wedding, which was planned, I think for June, in Dubai, was canceled. And I left him. And I want you to know that this year, for this Pesach, I'm going with a Jewish friend of mine to the Chabad in Old Montreal for the Seder. And by the way, I found an amazing, amazing website. I says, which one? Chabad.org. So he smiles and says, you and another 30 million people. Beautiful. Have a wonderful Pesach Yevishter. One piece of matzah changed the person's life. Maybe we're married to change our lives with Mashiach.